What if you never gave them a second chance? What if you walked away the very first time they broke your trust or disrespected you badly or whatever? Would you be stronger by now, right? Would you, know your worth and your value more than ever? And that was one of the biggest benchmarks to you taking your power back and, really, growing into a new level of yourself? Or would you still be wondering if you walked away too soon? And now you're sitting there with all of this regret and, you're just like tripping because you feel like you threw away something that could have been great. See, this is not about second guessing yourself or guilt tripping yourself. It's about reflection because giving second chances to someone can either rewrite a story or it can prolong a chapter you were supposed to end a long time ago. Let's talk about the power and the pull in second chances, right? See, as people, we organically and naturally want to believe in redemption, right? We want to believe people can change. We want to believe this time it'll be different because we're positive by nature and we're always hopeful of things working out for the better because it feels good. It's the desired outcome, right? And sometimes it is, right? Sometimes it does go that way. But second chances are very powerful, right? Because there's a lot that's being communicated to yourself and to the person you're giving the second chance to. They're really risky, right? Because what you're really saying is, I'm willing to reopen my heart when it still remembers what it cost me the first time I opened it up, right? So the real question is, are you giving a second chance to actual growth and something that can blossom and really be a launch pad for much better days? Or are you just giving another opportunity to pain dressed up in a new outfit? And the reason we wrestle with this tug of war in ourselves on giving the second chance or not is because we understand all too well the cost of walking away, right? Because moving on at first doesn't really feel like freedom, does it? It feels a lot more like grief, right? Because you're not just losing the person, you're losing the possibility of what could have been, the future you imagined, right? All the memories you were just waiting to create so close you could taste it, right? And you have to accept that that's not going to be a thing and let it go. And it felt good to have that to look forward to. But here's the truth I need you to embrace. Sometimes peace will only come when you stop trying to resuscitate something that's been dying for a while. Sometimes closure is not the answer, right? Figuring it out and repairing it with your partner or what have you, or trying to make amends. Sometimes that's just not the solution. Sometimes closure is you just truly making a decision to stop waiting to where it has no involvement at all with your partner or your ex or what have you, right? In reality, we never actually need the other person for closure. We just tell ourselves we do. Some of us, or actually a lot of us, wire our internal system and give ourselves the narrative that I can't put this to rest until I talk through this with them and we finally find a resolve or we can, let it go, right? And then you give yourself subconscious permission to be okay and close a chapter on that story, right? And walk away now. But you can always take your power back and decide, hey, if I can't get what I need for closure with them, then I must get it without them. And I'm gonna make a decision to stop waiting on them and choose me, choose my life, empower myself and bring closure to myself and move on. Because the huge risk with staying is second chances without change turn into cycles, toxic cycles, right? You don't move forward, you move in circles, right? Then you start to lose confidence. You lose a bit of yourself, right? That whole, I don't know who I am anymore. I've lost myself kind of a narrative that happens with so many people in toxic situations. You start to tolerate things you swore you never would, right? Then you become that person that has all the best advice in the world for your dear friend or your close relative or whatever. But you start chuckling sometimes that, but I don't follow my own advice. Yeah, I don't listen to my own things I say, or I would never tell my friend this or tell them to stay in this situation or tell them to deal with that. But I keep dealing with it. I don't know why. You become that person. And if they keep hurting you the same way, over and over again, it's not love anymore. Heck, it probably never was, but it is emotional gambling. You're throwing a 50-50 bet every time out there that it's going to be different this time, right? But in all honesty, it's not even fair to say it's 50-50 because the odds are heavily against you because history shows that the house has been winning this whole time, right? And you've never won almost at all. Typically, that's how that goes. And for those of you that think that you were winning in the beginning, no, that's not really winning. When you say, well, it was just so great in the beginning, I just wanted to get back there. They were so great then, but then something changed, something happened or what have you. No, it wasn't great back then. You just thought it was. Maybe the right circumstances didn't come up yet. The right challenges didn't appear, right? Maybe they were still trying to be the best version of themselves that they haven't built themselves up to prior to be able to sustain that. And the normal of them came out to where you were just getting the height of things, the excitement, the honeymoon phase version and all that. Or the version that hadn't met conflict yet to show you what's really behind there, right? And a lot of times we'll hold on to that beginning to make it make sense while we're still staying through the trench of toxicity that's not showing any hopeful sign of change anytime soon. So as you reflect, maybe your story includes a second chance that healed everything. I mean, I wish nothing more for you than for that, right? That's the hopeful outcome we always would like. But maybe it includes one that broke you further, right? Either way, it taught you something. That's the point. What's the takeaway you're taking from it if you choose to receive the lesson? Because the truth is, there's no perfect answer. And it's not your job to get it right all the time. That's too much stress and pressure. But it is your job to learn, to grow, and to choose you next time with much more courage, right? It is your job to get better at choosing yourself quicker and more confidence and so forth as you go on your journey. Look, whether you stayed or walked away, what matters most now is how you show up for yourself moving forward, right? What you'll accept, what you'll expect, what you'll never ignore again, right? That's what's most important. Because look, I'm completely fine if you want to give someone a second chance, right? I'm not the biggest advocate for it because I feel like there's a lot of growth that has to happen and a lot of the stars have to align. But if you're going to do it, completely fine. And if you have done it, cool. But just make sure you're navigating your experience in a healthier way this time to make sure you don't repeat the same patterns and get the same results. If there's no change there in the equation, you got to adjust something or you need to remove yourself. Don't continue on if it looks and smells exactly like it did before, or it starts out great in the beginning, but the things that made it great again start to slowly deteriorate and you see the action shifting again and they're not holding their part like they were before again, and it starts to slip back into the old ways. Don't just keep moving forward, right? Call it out, break the pattern, bring it to the forefront. Don't let it go under the rug. That's the point if you're going to go that route. And if you did walk away, great. What are you going to do to be better for next time? What's going to make it a whole turnaround where you'll never wind up in that position again? So maybe that second chance taught you that love can heal anything, because it really can, right? Or maybe that second chance taught you that love isn't enough always, right? But either way, now you know. And it's what you know now, which is the lesson you carry into your next chapter to be better going forward, whether you're still with that person or not. So you didn't fail by giving them a second chance. And you wouldn't have failed if you walked away. I need you to understand that every choice shapes who you become, right? So stop carrying the guilt if you're beating yourself up. Carry the growth instead. And you do that by making sure the growth, meaning the knowledge you have, you've obtained, what you understand now, you move into knowing by your actions. Let your growth be represented by the actions you take from here going forward to get better results going forward, right? Whether it's you're still with that person and there's some boundaries that needs to be set now, some standards that needs to be talked about and held up. So you make sure that you're honoring what you've learned from the last time before this second chance came along. Or if you're walking away or you did walk away and you feel like maybe I called it too soon, okay, get better at vetting yourself before you make big decisions like that. Make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's on whether you've done your part to communicate most effectively, give a fair chance and all that. So that if you do have to make that choice in the future to walk away again, you don't second guess it. You don't question it at all because you've learned from this experience that lets you know, no, I'm solid in my choice. This is the right thing for me. But ultimately, whatever choice you make is always right for you because it's right for your journey. If you choose to learn the lessons it's trying to help teach you on that journey. If you're keeping the blinders on and you're not listening to the messages coming through, then you'll keep on learning until you get it. That's what this whole thing is about in life, whether it's just you doing something out there in the world or with the relationship. It's all a journey. And life will keep bringing you the same lesson, trying to help you until you're really ready to embrace it and hear it. And once you hear it, you embrace it and you apply what you've learned, life gets much better as you continue to go. So if you need help getting clear on where you stand, if giving that second chance was the wrong decision for you, or if walking away was too soon, and to actually do the work to mold yourself to be the best version of you that can navigate those decisions more effectively and get the best results for yourself, then email or DM me the word coaching and we will get to work only if you're truly ready to put that work in. If you're not ready for one-on-one coaching, on the time, space, or maybe even the resources, at least email or DM me the word transformation, and I'll send you the link to my transformation course so you can learn the same things I teach my clients one-on-one at your own pace, on your own time. But either way, do something to get in the race. Let's get it.